Well, and help me out, educate me here a little bit. Aren't we at the... First of all, I think that you and I, as human beings, are demanding less carbon emission, and that we're getting it in a really big way. And right now, we're below what we're kind of pie in the sky, here's where we might be with the free market. And free market is a bit of an oxymoron when it comes to anything where the government is involved.
Well, I guess my follow-up question would be: is there any sort of regulation or market incentive that you would implement to allow companies to further reduce their emissions? Because even at our current pace, even if we are under slight reductions, we're still, I would say, not at a sustainable pace.
Well, and this is not, I'm not being adversarial here, but how would you address the issue of China and the coal plants that are being built in China and India, for example? I mean, if we take all the steps that you're talking about, is it even measurable relative to the global picture?
Well, I can't speak for all the nations, but you did mention China. China's actually in the process of adopting a carbon tax, so they've actually been taking the lead in that. India, I don't think is there yet.
But in spite of the carbon tax that they may implement, they're building what, one new power plant, one new coal-fired plant a week?
Something like that, yes.
Yeah, something like that.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Mr. Governor, I wanted to thank you for being here. I was down in Tampa when you were speaking at the Paul Festival, and there was quite a bit of Europeans down there. I wanted to say to the European guy, you can start by going back over there and trying to talk some sense into my brother-in-law, who is a British socialist that has newly become my brother-in-law. To get back to it, what can we do to get you back into politics? Because for us that live in the DMV, I think you have to understand what we're up against, which is the wall of socialism. And I hope you do distinguish yourself, I'm not trying to call you out here, on Obama with the redistribution of wealth. Because that's...
But he never says that. He never says that.
I know.
He says the right thing.
He's so smooth. He's so cool.
It's like he plays the violin, and I love the music. It's just, oh man, it's so good. It's so smooth.
Mr. Governor, I'm out here every day. My boss, even one of them, he's like, I'm 75% libertarian. No, if you agree with going into Syria or Iran, you're not. I mean, I'm out here battling these people every day. I was out there when Rand was up at Howard the other day with the guy that got kicked out with the white supremacy sign. And they don't even think that white supremacy means white people. They're talking about it in a different... It just makes no sense whatsoever. So to make a long story short, what can we do to get you back in? We need you to run for Senate. We need Peter Schiff to run for Senate. We need you guys back in this. Because Ron Paul, I mean, we love him. Grandpa, I love you, but we need somebody else to come up here. We've got to get this stuff going because we need changes. Now, I'm a realist. I'm going to probably come back to Rand. I mean, the 13-hour filibuster, we have the Republican Party trying. What can we do to get more people like you that are wealthy now, thanks to the free market capitalism? We need to get you back into politics. Put you on the spot.
No, I really thought that I was the most qualified person running for President of the United States. I really think last go-around that I would have done a better job than anybody else, or I wouldn't be doing this right now. Now, I'm not running for President of the United States. I'm out here advocating for these positions. I abhor the idea of being a senator. I abhor the notion of belling up to the trough because ultimately Congress is judged by how much bacon you bring home, and I'd be horrible at that job. I'd just be horrible because that's the root of all of our evil right now.
So just think about it a little bit more, because we need you.
You can see it in front of me.
So I'm a huge advocate of school choice. I'm a voluntarist. And I'm wondering, do you support a voucher system? Or what kind of a strategy do you suggest for getting schools back into our hands and out of the teachers' unions?
So understand that I was governor of New Mexico for 8 years, and I, when it comes to education, would advocate states dealing with this issue. I proposed in New Mexico for 6 straight years legislation for a full-blown voucher system, and worked out all the, it wasn't going anywhere, so that was also evident, but it was a good debate, it was a good discussion. In New Mexico, when I started the whole debate over school choice, 35% of New Mexicans supported school vouchers. When I left office, 54% of New Mexicans supported school vouchers. So that's where the issue went. I really think that's how innovation will dramatically occur, is bringing competition to public education. Vouchers is a way to do that. You give education back to the states. I'm willing to go out on a limb and say that the states that get the furthest to bringing competition to public education will show the most dramatic improvement. Why was I going to school from 8 o'clock in the morning until 4 o'clock in the afternoon? Man, I was the candidate for no bricks and mortar. School was, for me, it was just became static on the radio. I just had to turn the radio off. I was bored to death. That's not a reflection on anybody, maybe, but just me. But I wish somebody would have had some advertisement in the paper that says, "Hey, bored to death? Turn the school radio to 0? Come to our school. Bring your voucher. Come to our school. We'll keep you awake." I had to give them a shot. I picked up on the fact early on that AB students ended up working for the entrepreneurial C students. I grabbed on that. I'm just kidding. A's and B's, good job. Good job. Be an entrepreneur and really kick ass. Anyway, thank you all very, very much.
Thank you all very much again for coming to hear Governor Gary Johnson speak. For all of you who are students, please again sign up outside on for the listserv for the GW College Libertarians. For those of you who aren't students, please